has the toughest immigration laws in the world. We have the worst because the Democrats put in things that are so bad. So bad. Catch and release. You catch them, and then you got to release them. Right? Think of it. Visa lottery. You're in a lottery system from these countries. You pick up a name. Oh, isn't that nice? Guess what? Do you think they're giving us their best people? No, they're not. They're giving us their worst people. And so would you, and so would I. Visa lottery, that's another beauty. We have nothing but bad coming out of those laws. But you know the good thing about what's happening? The rush to the border. Another 2 caravans now are pouring up. Mexico could stop them so easy. And you know what? If they don't, it's going to cost them a hell of a lot of money, honestly. Because they could do it so easy. So easy. And if they don't, and I'm telling you right now, we will close the damn border. And I don't know if you know it or not, Michigan, but Mexico took about 30% of your car business. Not when I was here. When I'm here, they're not. It's going the other way. 30%. And if we close the border, that means we're not taking those cars into our country. And what does that mean? That means you're going to make more cars right here in the good old USA. That's what it means. Right? Very simple. It's all very simple. People try and make it too complicated. It's all very simple. One of the gravest threats to the survival of the U.S. auto industry was the job-killing, sovereignty-wrecking Trans-Pacific Partnership. It was going to decimate your industry. That's why one of my very first acts in office was to withdraw our country from that horrible, potentially disastrous trade deal and stop the offshoring of Michigan jobs. Saved a lot of jobs. That was a disaster. That would have been almost as bad as NAFTA, one of the worst trade deals in the history of the world. NAFTA, that was a beauty. Your empty factories are still all over the place. They still haven't recovered from NAFTA. Well, NAFTA is going to be a thing of the past. Soon. Or we'll just go to pre-NAFTA. That was okay, too. We had a huge surplus with Mexico. Then we did NAFTA. We lost over the last 6-7 years with Mexico $100 billion. Before NAFTA, we made 40 to 50 billion. Doesn't sound like too good a deal, right? So we have now the USMCA, and it's very good if the Democrats want to raise their hand. It's a hard thing for them to give us a victory, but let's see if they raise their hand. Otherwise, we go to pre-NAFTA. We don't go to NAFTA, we go to pre-NAFTA. That was just okay with me. That was okay with me. A short time later, I traveled to Detroit to cancel burdensome regulations that unfairly harmed the Motor City. It was getting decimated. We renegotiated the U.S.-Korea trade agreement to double the American auto exports to Korea. We doubled them. They were not happy about it. And to stop the cheap foreign pickup trucks from flooding our market. That's your best market. You know why? Because we have a chicken tax. We have a tariff, 25%. And that's why it's your best market. Because they can't come in here and take away your business and take away your jobs. They weren't thrilled, but that's okay. Under my administration, we live by 2 simple rules. Buy American and hire American. And we're already seeing the results. Since the election, we've created more than 55,000 brand new motor vehicle and auto parts jobs in our country. 55,000. Fiat Chrysler just announced a $4.5 billion investment in Michigan, including the first new auto plant in Detroit in over a generation.
That is good. That's good news.
And they're going to be investing in our country $13.5 billion over a very short period of time. And Ford has just announced a $1 billion investment just outside of Chicago, as well as additional $900 million going right here in Michigan. And I've been a little bit disappointed with them because everyone else is coming in, but General Motors did just announce a $300 million investment at its Orion assembly plant here in Michigan right now. But I'm also fighting with General Motors and the UAW to take swift action on the GM plants at Hamtramck and Warren, Michigan, and Lordstown, Ohio. Get the damn plants open. Everyone else is coming in. Get them open now. All right? So with companies like Chrysler and Ford and Toyota and Volkswagen all investing heavily in America and heavily in the state of Michigan, we think General Motors will soon be doing the same. I really do believe it. You know, they went before my time. They went to China. They spent a lot of money building stuff. They went to Mexico. They spent a lot of money building stuff. That's not helping us much. So we think they're going to come around. As we protect our jobs, we are also protecting America's borders. And we are taking on the extremists, and they are really radical extremist Democrats who want open borders and crime, because that's what happens. Open borders and crime. Last month alone, more than 76,000 illegal immigrants arrived at our borders to be apprehended. We have to apprehend them. Do you know the great job? I mean, seriously, think of that. 76,000 people, many of which are rough people. Okay, I'm being nice, because they'll criticize me if I'm not. They'll say, how dare he say that? But we have people that have criminal records. We have a lot of people. We have a lot of problems. We apprehend them. We capture them. Do you know how tough that job is, Border Patrol? You know how tough? I don't think any of you guys, yeah, you would. That guy would like it. There are some people who would like it. They love it. They're great American patriots. And ICE, these are great American patriots. And we're on track for 1 million illegal aliens trying to rush our borders. It is an invasion. You know that. I say invasion. They say, isn't that terrible? I don't know what these people are thinking. You know, it's your country, too. What are you thinking? 300 Americans a week die from Mexican trafficked heroin. 300. Think of it. 300 a week. Tens of thousands of Americans are killed every year by heroin, meth, cocaine, fentanyl, vast quantities of which are smuggled across our southern border. You know that. 78,000 people die, and that's a number that's much, much smaller than the real number. To confront the border crisis last month, I declared a national emergency on our southern border. The radical Democrats retaliated by passing a reckless resolution to terminate vital border security operations. Can you believe this? And 2 weeks ago, I proudly issued my first veto. And 2 days ago, our great Republicans in the House of Representatives, I won't get fancy with you, I'll just say they essentially gave us the right to build the wall, and lots of money pouring out. So we're building the wall. We'll be finishing the wall. It's moving along rapidly. We're giving out many additional contracts. We're going to be building it in many different locations simultaneously with different contractors. And sometime over the next 2 weeks, I'll be going to a certain place, which I won't tell you now, because they'll be waiting for me. I'll be going to a certain place, and we're going to be showing you vast sections of brand new, beautiful wall. Because we're going to put the jobs, the safety, and the security of American citizens first. And you know, when I campaign, it's going to be so much easier the second time. Remember this, I never did this before, and I'm 1-1, right? We're 1 for 1. 1 for 1. Never did. And it was tough. It was tough. You know why? Because I get up on a stage, and I've never debated before, but I never left center stage, right? Never left center stage. Meaning we were winning the whole time. And I debated, and I said, where are these people coming from? But I never did it, and I never said to anybody, I'm going to produce jobs. I'm going to bring back your auto business. I'm going to do great for the vets. I'm going to do great for tax cuts. I'm going to cut regulations more than anybody in the history of our country in 2 years. I never said. I couldn't say that. But I did say that I was going to do it, but who the hell's going to believe me? Now I've done more than I ever promised I was going to do, so the debates should be very easy. Democrats want to pretend there is no border crisis. Thank you. Well, I'll give you a question. Okay. So I told you before, the lowest unemployment rates in the history of our country for African-American great citizens. Now I say that, and it's like I say that, and I just say, your turn. What the hell are they going to do to beat that? And we have many other things for every single citizen. Everybody's benefiting. Everybody. Everybody's benefiting. So before, first election, my first election, what the hell, I never did it before. I did a good job, though. Do you agree? So did you. So did you. You know, the fact is we did it together, and I've always said it. I didn't do it. We did it together. But think about it. Now, instead of saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to produce 5.5 million new jobs, I'm going to bring back manufacturing, 600,000 new jobs in a short period of time. Now I've done it. I mean, it should be easy. Don't you agree? It should be easy. Democrats want to pretend there is no border crisis for one simple reason. Because they have caused the border crisis. And you know why else, honestly? Because they want votes, and because they don't want to give us a win. They don't want to give us a win. They put that ahead of what's good for our country. The mass illegal immigration across our border is a direct consequence of Democrat-supported loopholes. Democrat promises of amnesty. Amnesty. You have people coming up, you know, they're all met by the lawyers and they come out, they're all met by the lawyers, and they say the following phrase, I am very afraid for my life. I am afraid for my life. Okay. And then I look at the guy, he looks like he just got out of the ring. He's the heavyweight champion of the world. He's afraid for it. It's a big, fat con job, folks. It's a big, fat con job. And Democrat sanctuary cities and their refusal to protect American borders, it's not the money. When I fought for them recently, they gave me so much money for everything else, but nothing for the wall. Now think of it. Walls work, folks. We need the wall. They said, would you call it slats? I said, I'll call it slats. Would you call it steel barriers? I said, I'll call it whatever the hell you want. Just give me the money to build it. And then they sort of got the little cold feet. And now I call it the wall, and I got the money anyway. So that's okay. But their open border policies are truly a betrayal to the American people. This is dangerous. What's coming into our country is dangerous. To defend the United States of America, I deployed the United States military. I got thousands of troops. Right now we have about 4,000 troops on our southern border, and they're fantastic. And think of it. For years we defended the borders of foreign countries, but we don't want to defend our own border. Think of how crazy this is. We're defending borders of countries that are 6,000 miles away, that many of you have never even heard the name of these countries, but our southern border, our border along Mexico, where we have a lot of problems, and drugs, and human traffickers, and child traffickers, and all of this coming in, we don't want to defend our border. Think of that, how crazy that is. So now we are defending our borders for our country and the people of our country. In the last 2 years alone, ICE officers, we love ICE, have made, listen to this though, 266,000 arrests of criminal aliens. Who the hell wants to do that? You don't want to do it, right? You like what you're doing, making cars, right? I like making cars, I think, better too. But they like it. That's what they do. They're great at it. Including those charged or convicted of nearly 100,000 assaults, 30,000 sex crimes, 4,000 kidnappings, and 4,000 murders. Okay? We got them. They got them. How about if you don't get them? How about if you leave all of those people, just leave them? You know what that means for our country? But Democrats want to abolish ICE. They want to get rid of these very great patriots, these very tough people that love our country as much as anybody I've ever seen. They want to set violent offenders free, and directly they will be coming into your communities. We're not going to have it. We're not having it. We want our country to be a sanctuary for law-abiding Americans, not for criminal aliens. Right? The Republican Party will always stand with the heroes of ICE and the heroes of Border Patrol. These are great people. Every day of my presidency, ICE is tracking down gang members, drug dealers, and criminal aliens, and we are either throwing them behind bars or throwing them the hell out of our country. And we're throwing out gangs like MS-13. These are some of the sickest, most demented, most vicious people in the world. We're throwing them out of our country by the thousands. In recent months, the Democrat Party has also been aggressively pushing extreme late-term abortion, allowing children to be ripped from their mother's womb right up until the moment of birth. And now we go a step further. In Virginia, the governor stated that he would even allow a newborn baby, wrap the baby up, make the baby comfortable, to be executed after birth. And that is why in my State of the Union address, I called on Congress to immediately pass legislation prohibiting the extreme late-term abortion of babies. The Democrat Party has never been further outside of the mainstream. They are being brought so far left. You wouldn't like it, folks. You wouldn't like it. You won't be happy. Radical Democrats are the party of high taxes, open borders, late-term abortion, crime, hoaxes, and delusions. The Republican Party is the party for all Americans. It's what we want to be. It's the way we want to live. We're the party of the American worker, the American family, and we are the party of the American dream. And every day we make good on the motto, promises made, promises kept. Last week, I signed an order to defend free speech on college campuses. And to keep America safe, we are rebuilding America's military might, making it more powerful than ever before by far. I withdrew the United States from the horrible, costly, one-sided Iran nuclear deal, and look what's happened. Iran is a different country today than it was 2.5 years ago. I recognized Israel's capital and opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. And just days ago, I announced that the United States will recognize Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights. Very important. Very important. We also recognize the legitimate government of Venezuela, and we strongly condemn the socialist brutality of the Maduro regime. We stand with the people of Venezuela and Cuba and Nicaragua and their righteous struggle to finally be free. We stand with them, doing a lot of work. Socialism is not a good thing, you're right. Each of us here tonight is united by the same timeless values. We believe in the American Constitution and the American rule of law. We believe in the dignity of work and the sanctity of life. We believe that faith and family, not government and bureaucracy, are the true American way. We believe in religious liberty, the right to free speech, and the right to keep and bear arms. We believe that children should be taught to love our country, to honor our history, to be proud, to be happy, to love, and always to respect our great American flag. And we believe in the words, and always will. We're not changing it. They want us to change a lot of things. It's not happening. Of our national motto, in God we trust. In God we trust. These are traditions, customs, and principles that bind us together as citizens, as neighbors, as patriots. These are the values that unite people all across the magnificent land of Michigan. These are the values that brought the incredible people of this incredible state to Grand Rapids for the very last rally of the 2016 campaign, probably the most exciting and hopefully the most fruitful campaign in the history of our country. On that historic day, you rejected the failed political establishment that chipped away your jobs, sold out your sovereignty, and tied us down in endless foreign wars, which we're now winning and getting out. You stood up to the corrupt special interests, and you stood up to the rigged Washington power structure. You've stood with me. You watched this rigged power structure. You were with me. I won't forget it, and you will be very proud looking back that you did it. Thank you. You took back your country. You recaptured your destiny. You defended your dignity. And you proudly reclaimed your freedom, maybe for a second time. You have always been loyal to your nation. And now you have a president who is loyal to you 100%. The Democrats took the people of Michigan for granted, but with us, you will never, ever be forgotten again. You will never be taken for granted, ever, ever, ever. I am fighting for you.
I wish somebody would explain that to the Reagans and the Bushes before we have gotten in the shape that we're in, due to the fact that not only was I forgotten about, Mr. President, but I was literally attacked. Not only attacked in the form of character assassination, but attacked again and again and again by law enforcement, by people bringing up false accusations against me, including law enforcement. There's going to be a reckoning of accountability one day. And I don't care if it's people that's local around here that was a part of this world conspiracy, or if it's people that's working up there in the capital of the state of Tennessee, or the capital of the state of Oklahoma, or the capital of the state of Kentucky, or other capitals, as well as federal people working in Washington, D.C., there will be a reckoning of what has occurred here, going all the way back to old man Reagan's administration, old man Bush's administration, and the Clintons, and the young Bushes, as well as the Obamas. Because what has occurred here, this great travesty, the laws of the land has manufactured this animal. And in this animal, the animal says, do as I say and not as I do. The laws of the land are so upside down and so rigged, it's not even funny. And to watch how that they have fattened their pockets with nice automobiles, nice cars, nice retirements, nice second homes down in Florida and Arizona and Texas and places in Southern California to escape the code, to think that they've gotten away with this, shows you just exactly how much of a bastards that they truly are. If you would have been president when 9 tapes wound up going to the White House pertaining to never be ignored again, would you have ignored the biblical Bible prophecy pertaining to the 9 tapes that got brought to your front door? Would you have ignored and done exactly what the Reagans and the Bushes and the Clintons and the other Bushes, would you have done what they had done? Or would you be a man of your word and hold true to your promises that we would never be ignored again? Because as of right now, in the year 2019, as far as I'm concerned, whenever it comes to me receiving local support from the locals, I don't see it, Mr. President. I don't see it from the locals. I don't see it from the statehood. I don't see it from the feds. And to be quite honest with you, Mr. President, I haven't obtained any type of information from you personally. No telephone call, no letter, no advisory, no spokesman, no carrier, no nothing. So who's pulling whose leg here? Once more, white man speaketh with forked tongue. I hear one thing, but the proof's in the pudding towards where's people knocking down my door at? How come my phone ain't ringing off the wall? Where's all these great supporters that I'm supposed to be encountering, such as Joe Osteen, or Billy Graham, or other big internationally known evangelists throughout this world? Where are they at, Mr. President?
You and your jobs and your life and your community with everything that I have.
See, if I would have been given the entitlement towards trying to fight for the title, at the age of 27, whenever all this occurred in my life, 30 years ago, now going on 31 years, I truly believe that I would have had a chance, a fighting chance, towards winning in this duel, this fight. Well, now, I'm 58. Time has creeped in. Muscles has become dilapidated. Arthritis and bursitis has even set in more so in joints and in places where I have been wounded in the past. My own people have not only abandoned me, but my own people have stabbed me in the back and cut my own throat. My own people are the people that has caused this calamity, not only in my personal life, but in all these lives that are being harmed and hurt on a day-to-day level. I have been betrayed, similar to how Jesus was portrayed by his people during the time that he was walking the land. And people may say, well, Juby, you just need to put all this in behind you. You're taking all this too serious. Well, whenever it comes to the seriousness of the calling of God, that's on one level. But whenever it comes to the seriousness of young, innocent lives that have had to go through drooling, misery, and pain, that's on another level. But what even exceeds both of those levels is to watch the human carnage of souls that could have been spared, that could have been influenced, that could have been saved, that could have been good, productive, working citizens of society. But because of the world conspiracy, they have drifted down the shoreline. You don't think, Mr. President, that these people that was a part of this, beginning in Kenton, Tennessee, and in Northwest Tennessee, and in other parts of the country, you don't think that these people are going to be held accountable for that? Oh, mercy be, for what a tangled web we do weave, when first we think we know the answers, but then we realize we've been deceived. I will literally stand on the floor of the kingdom of God and look down at the souls of those who was responsible for the souls of those who have perished. And I will watch them scream and holler night and day, day and night, because of what has happened here. And most importantly, I will watch the very one who influenced this, which comes from the axis of evil, Lucifer, the Antichrist. And occasionally, I will open up my mansion door purposely to look down and watch such grueling misery and torment as they scream and scream and scream, and there will be no mercy, where the worm dieth not. You see, everybody acts like, pertaining to law enforcement, that they want everybody to be held accountable. But yet no, there's been no accountability in what has occurred here in my personal life. And until I do see a turnaround in that regard, like I said, they can squirm, they can wiggle, they can come up with excuses, fake, false alibis. They can lie. They can plead insanity. They can keep quiet and plead the fifth. They can play every game known unto man who was a part of this. But eventually, there will be a day of a reckoning for all of those who played a part that has brought such misery and agony and torment to the innocent lives of millions of people. I just had to say that to my viewers, because I've heard that coming from him before, that no one will be left behind, that no one will be ignored. But yet no, every telephone call that I've made to Secret Service up in Nashville, Tennessee, I have yet to get any type of confirmation, either by telephone, text, smokestack, a personal carrier. I don't even get nothing from the locals in regard. But I guarantee you, if I was to put something out on social media that would be inappropriate to this type of behavior on the level of threatening one of them, any of them, threatening one of them, they would be knocking down my damn door. Because they think that they're invincible and that nothing and nobody is going to harm them or touch them for their actions. This includes federal judges, local judges, captains, chiefs, sheriffs. This includes politicians broad and wide, but most importantly, this includes preachers, teachers, counselors, advisors. This includes priests, rabbis. This includes all. It's really sad. Sad, sad, sad. We're getting towards the end of this. Well, I hope we are.
And I will never, ever stop. And we are winning so big, nobody ever thought it could happen.
Part of that I do agree with, as far as some of that's actually occurring in regard to people's lives being turned around. But at the same time, there's still so many hundreds and thousands and millions of people here in America that their lives will never be the same. They fell through the cracks. They fell through the gaps. They lost homes. They lost cars. They lost relationships. And to this day, for the majority of them, they're probably still living under bridges. Just like a lot of our veterans that has fought so dearly for this country. I don't hear the president talking about them a whole lot right now. Yeah, there's been a lot of good. That's undeniable. But there's still so much bad. And I understand. Don't get me wrong. You shouldn't be held accountable for other people's mistakes. But how about the people that made the mistakes? Have they been held accountable? Have they lost any of their income? Are they still living in their big, nice, fancy houses and driving their big, nice, fancy cars? Oh, yeah, I seen the 43rd President of the United States. I seen him bring a bunch of his Secret Service agents some pizza, making a donation. Pizza? That's something that I would do. A poor man would do. How about giving them all a car? Or special training? Or maybe giving them some sort of a gift that they can give to their children for college or something. A pizza? My God, if I couldn't do no better than that, being one of the ex-presidents, Bush Jr., I wouldn't give nothing. That's an insult to people's intelligence. The greedy don't take care of the needy.
We will always fight on to victory. Together we are going to make our beautiful stand. We are going to stand for justice, for safety, for sovereignty, and for the sacred rights given to us by the hand of Almighty God.
Good. We should. I hope that you can rally them, because I tried for 30 years and I never could.
We are one united movement.
All I seen was a bunch of liars, crooks, and thieves.
States of America.
Did you hear me, Mr. President? For 30 years, I've been trying to motivate them. I've been trying to lead them to the promised land, and all I've gotten is 0 goose eggs.
Because together, with the very proud and very truly incredible and inspiring people of Michigan, we will make America wealthy again.
I hope so. I really do.
And we're doing it.
For the sake of my grandchildren.
We will make America strong again.
I hope so. For the sake of my grandchildren.
We will make America safe again.
I hope so. For the sake of my grandchildren.
And we will make America great again. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Michigan.
To live in a country that does not share accountability and responsibility with those who have allowed for it to ever get in this shape, it absolutely boils my blood to think that the Obamas, the Bushes, the Clintons are still going to their big parties. They still have their second and third homes in their vacation spots. Some of them probably even on their islands. And nobody is holding them accountable. But yet now, the working man, the poor man, and the veteran man is still being tossed to the side. Or that's what I'm seeing. Maybe not in all cases, because I do realize that he has done a great deal of good in motivating the economy and getting things up and going. But with us being now trillions of dollars in debt, problems on every level, if the true, holy, righteous God, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of the living God, without that God's help, not only are the poor class doomed, not only is the working class doomed, but eventually, the rich man's going to be doomed. Especially those who thought that they have done this and gotten away with a travesty. I am so sick and tired of being sick and tired. I am so nauseated by watching little children be beat up on and brutalized and taken advantage of. I'm so heartbroken to see what goes on with the Catholic Church and the other church, if you want to call them churches, here in America, and how that they preach one thing but do something totally, completely different. I am so fed up with this hypocrisy that I continue to feel, hear, see, smell, taste, and comprehend on a day-to-day level. And like I said, I don't blame it all on him, because I realize he has done a magnificent job in turning it around. But how about the people that allowed for this to occur? You know, they want to put our names throughout the papers whenever we make a boo-boo. And they want to put us over in a corner where everybody can mock us and make fun of us whenever we make a mistake. We're to be ridiculed and condemned before society. Do I see the Bushes, the Reagans? Do I see any of those administrations, the Clintons, the Obamas? Do I see any of those administrations being ridiculed and thrown out into the eyes of the general public? No, what I'm seeing is that they're still in power. They're still holding their positions. We even got Hillary Clinton and Obama that's helping with the new coming election. It's an endless cesspool, a cycle of corruption, that the wealthy get wealthier, but the working class and the poor get even poorer. It's so sad. The game, how that they have played the American people. And today we have exchanged our so-called privacy for security. And our security today is worse than what it was 30 years ago, before we ever even started inventing cameras. Our security today is worse. We're constantly being hacked. People's going into our accounts. They're stealing our identity. We're constantly being agitated and aggravated on one level or another. So where is this greatness that this president talks about? It's a few, but very few. It is so sad. It is so sad. Thank you to my viewers. Good luck to all of us. This will end this on Thursday, March. Seems like it's the 28th or something like that. 2019. It began with the churches, more so with the politicians. And they have both done nothing more than show their ignorances.